Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. And now, let's welcome your hosts, Blake and Mark.
Hello and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 455. I'm your host, Blake. The Blake and Sal podcasting is off today because, well, he has no interest in this episode of the show. But he'll be back next week for our big marathon of shows we have planned. Trust me, we have a lot going on next week, so he'll be here for all of that. But let me bring on my co-host, the man who picked this awesome intro, the man, the myth, the legend, Mark. Dad, how you doing?
Hey, doing fantastic.
So I'm going to be opening the show with you that I'm loving this.
Hey, depending on how you word it, it is Jane by either Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, or Starship, depending on what era you're in. But you got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, this is Orange Cassidy's theme thing. By the way, on Spotify, it came up as Jefferson Starship. So there you go. It's on Spotify. Our special guest is running a little late today, so he'll be here in a few minutes. There was a miscommunication on. And people wonder behind the scenes of this show sometimes dealing with time zones. We're dealing with UK and the US, so time zones are an issue, and he's running a little late, so he'll be here in a few minutes. So we'll just get through all of our plugs and all the other stuff because there's a lot to plug before we get into the show anyway. So let me cut the music, and we'll get right into things. And you can have South Park help support the show and find all the powers. You can find the show on the product we work on at theblackandsalshow.com. Dad.
Hey, you can buy your t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more from our TeePublic store. Click on the link, TeePublic link in our website, or go to TeePublic and search the Blake and Sal Show.
Okay, nothing.
Hey, did we get the foam fingers yet?
Night light up. Actually available. All right, let's get a break. We'll come right back. All right. So I said we have a lot of plugs. First of all, our normal plugs. First of all, go pick up Andy's book. I Know I Am. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and On Tap Publishing. Available in English and in Spanish. Andy also did another project that I want to plug here. She started her own podcast. And it's called The Nadine and Mandy Show with one of our best friends, Nadine. And it's now available on all podcasting platforms. Episode 1 is up. It will be a weekly show. They're trying to figure out their schedule, but I think we have it down pat. But yeah, it will be a weekly show. Episode 1 is up, so go enjoy that right now. It's always fun to produce another show that I'm not on. It's actually nice for me for a change. It's the first time I've ever actually produced a show that I'm actually not on. So it's a lot of fun.
And with their podcast, you never know who may turn up.
You never know what's going on. I'm not gonna lie. They send me a run sheet, and then listen to the show, and like half of the run sheet wasn't even mentioned because they just go off on tangents, and it's a really fun listen. So
there you go.
I know they're really hard on themselves on it not being as much fun as I thought it was, but as a podcast listener myself, I really enjoy it. So I'm going to listen to the Nadine and Mandy Show, now available on all podcast part of the Blake and Sal Show family of shows.
There you go.
All right, so this show is going up on Monday the 27th of March, and the reason I did that is because we are doing a special anniversary week of 5 days of shows. all this week. It's a big week for us. 5 days of podcast on this feed for our anniversary. Our official anniversary is on Tuesday, and you can join us live for our 10-year anniversary special, 1 Eastern, 12 Central, on Zoom, on Facebook, and I'll have a special Zoom link where you can join the show. I'm starting to get voicemails from people. We're gonna play this on the show. I have a lot of stuff planned, and we're gonna have a lot of fun on Tuesday. So enjoy.
Are we gonna play that wonderful game as far as people leave voicemails? And
I just said that. I literally just said that.
No. I mean, depending on what platform.
Dad, I literally just said that.
Okay.
In the plug.
All right.
You really have to start listening. I did a podcast you're actually on.
Okay.
Tuesday morning, before the live show, you can listen to the archive of our first ever show. Me and Sal's first ever show is going up on Tuesday. Boy, it's a clusterfuck, but it's fun to listen to. So go listen to that on the archives. Wednesday, you'll hear the anniversary special replay. Thursday will be another archive show. It'll actually be, I think it's Dad, Mark's first appearance on the show. And it's our WrestleMania 29 preview show. And boy, that's a clusterfuck, but still fun to listen to. And also included in that is also our first outside of this house guest, Jason Powell. He's also on that archive episode on Thursday. And finally, on Friday will be our WrestleMania Hollywood weekend previewing WrestleMania, previewing NXT, Hall of Fame, everything going on the WWE side of things. This is a full week of podcasting, so I hope you enjoy it. Here on the YouTube side, you're going to get this show, and you're going to get the anniversary special and the WrestleMania weekend show. So enjoy it. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we will. If you really want to, and more of them in the show, please join the live show. Comment. I really want to hear from you all. This is a big deal for us to hit 10 years on Tuesday. I can't believe we made it. We're here.
I mean, compared to the first show to where we are now,
my God.
Everything seems to be more streamlined, easier to follow, and the guests that we've had, very memorable.
Yes, so we will be hearing from a lot of them on Tuesday. I've been talking to a lot of them. We're gonna have one of them on here eventually today. Like I said, time issues. But since we're waiting for him to get here, let's actually hit this.
And now, let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
All right. Let's start in our press wrestling side of things. Before we get into the reason we're here, I attended a house show this past week. A WWE live event on the 18th here in Milwaukee. It's actually what it's called now. It's the Road to WrestleMania WWE live event. I gotta admit, I remember a couple of years ago, we came on here and I complained about the house show experience. It was terrible. It was long. It was long and slogged on. I kind of blame the Revival for that. For a while, I didn't like the Revival because of that house show experience. I'll admit, the last one we went to was right after the pandemic, and it was a John Cena return tour. And I passed that as we're just getting back on the tour route because of the pandemic. I'm like, of course, it's going to be a great show because they're trying to do that. So this show is different. It's also an impromptu move because me and Mandy were supposed to have other plans. We ended up not going other plans. We're like, we have a date night. We want to do something. And WWE's in town. So we grabbed 2 tickets and we went to the show. Boy, that was the right decision. Holy shit, that was the right decision. This reminded me of the old school house shows where you go in, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what card a card's going to be. You just know some people that are going to be there, you know the main event. And that's it. We do nothing else going in. As a matter of fact, we looked up the house shows for the week before, and we were trying to match it up. Like, what's the A house show? What's Cody's house show from last week? And line it up. And even that wasn't even the same. We had a completely different card from the week before house show, except for the main event. And we had so much fun. We had so much fucking fun. A couple things I will know. First of all, Cody Rhodes. For those who don't realize how over he is, you obviously have not seen him in person. Holy shit, is this man over? He is one of the most over acts I have seen in a long, long time. I give him a lot of credit. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the reaction and the ovation and the fact that he had a match against LA Knight. And LA Knight came out. He got booed to come out, and then he started getting cheers. The crowd's in LA Knight's corner. And then Cody's music hits. And LA Knight's now a heel. I'm like, holy shit. That's how you get LA Knight to be a heel. You have Cody come out. I've never seen anything like it. It wasn't real to be in the building for that experience.
Well, you got to look at it as not as far as how over he is, but he's got that it factor. He's very charismatic, and his promos are just like spot on.
I agree. It was weird to be in the building because, again, there's no commentary, there's nothing. We don't know the card. So when Cody's music hit, I had the video of the entrance, and the video doesn't even do it justice because of the audio quality of a video on your phone. You can't really go by the audio quality of a video on your phone, as we learned from the AEW shows last year. The crowd reaction was amazing. And for those people on other websites that say he's only over, his theme song's over and not him, or like the oh part is over and not him, you obviously have never ever seen it live, because there were children jumping up and down going crazy because Cody was coming out. There was grown men going nuts. It was an experience to watch, something I haven't seen in a long time. So if he's winning the title at WrestleMania, it's the right move. I'm just saying to people, if he does win, it's the right move to do at this point, based on what I saw last Saturday at this house show.
I mean, just to show you how much over he is when he comes down to the ring, usually their kids are on the side, and he basically, takes time and talks to him briefly and then gets a selfie. And then the big coup de grace after he does his entrance is he throws his weight belt to the audience, and they get it. Now, let's take what's happening now compared to how he was in AEW, where he threw his weight belt into the crowd and he threw it back. So, I mean, he has progressed from leaving AEW, coming to WWE. He has progressed. He has grown into the character he's got, and his charisma and his self-confidence and his promos all have gotten 100% better.
For those on the YouTube side, my background is actually from the Cody LA Knight match, and you can see the crowd. Nobody was sitting during half this match. It was pretty damn incredible to watch, and everyone knew Cody was winning. It wasn't like you knew Cody was not losing this match. Like, everybody knew, but it was still a cool moment to know that. Couple other notes. I will make a note here. Seth Rollins. Wow. We always joke that we love his theme music. We've never ever been to a show in person with this theme music before. It is special because it's fun. It's fun. His music is somewhat fun to sing. And it's like your music hits and everyone was ready. Everyone knew. Everyone was ready to go. And the one thing to do at house shows they don't do on television, I hope they do this at WrestleMania for him, is they turn the lights off when he gets to the ring. And then they just let the music play for a minute. And then they turn the music off. And they let the crowd sing. And all of a sudden, it's how the Bray Wyatt Firefly entrances used to be.
Right.
This was like that. But in unison, singing Seth Rollins music without the music playing. Like, it was incredible to watch this and experience it. And I didn't expect it. I didn't expect him to turn the lights off like that. I didn't expect that at all. It was a really cool, like, live event moment. That people are not going to forget that. People are not going to forget this moment. So I just wanted to make sure that was out there, because if you're going to a house show and you want to have a moment, it's that Seth Rollins, lights going down, the flashlights come out, and you're singing a song, and it was such an experience where it's like, wow, this is what pro wrestling could be. And the other note I want to make is we're leaving, and there's a video going around after the Garden House show of the crowd singing along to Seth Rollins' theme outside the Garden. And it was like, oh, Seth Rollins is over. His theme music's being sung outside the Garden. You want to know why that happens? He's the last guy out, and they play his theme music until he leaves. And he's hitting autographs and taking pictures of people, and his music's jamming for like 10 minutes after the 10, 15 minutes after the show's over. All you're hearing is, that's all you're hearing for 10, 15 minutes. So then I had to run to the bathroom after the show because I hadn't really gone all show. And in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, 10 people walking to the bathroom singing along with the Rollins. I'm like, what is happening? Like, this is such a bizarre moment. Like, but it's a really cool thing to see. Like, he's so popular. One of the things I want to bring up before we bring on our guest who just joined the show is LA Knight. LA Knight is so popular. And his catchphrase is so popular that we're leaving. And we're talking, me and Mandy are talking. And all of a sudden I heard somebody yell, yeah. So I instinctually answered, yeah. And it turned into 7 of us yelling back and forth, yeah, in the concourse of the Pfizer as we're leaving the building.
So would you compare that to when Steve Austin does his, and everyone's saying, what?
Oh, I hate that. I hate
or Ric Flair's woo.
The woos are over stuff too, though. I hate the what chant. I'm over the what chant at this point. All right, we're chit-chatting. Our guest is here with his music.
When are you gonna come down? When are you going to town? I should have stayed on the phone. I should have listened to my mouth. You never didn't sign up for you. I'm not afraid for your friends to open. This boy's too young to listen.
Well, let's bring on our buddy from the UK, from Miami Minutes, Jon Parker. Jon, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me once again. It's always exciting.
Anytime. I just noticed I have a new setup here, and it looks like I'm looking away from my camera, and I don't know why. I got to figure out why that's happening. But anyway, Jon, you're walking in right in the middle of we're talking about I went to WWE House Show, live event last Saturday, and we're just discussing the fan reaction. That's what you're walking into right now.
Amazing. Yeah. No, you sent me a couple of little video clips. Yeah. House shows are always good.
Oh, house shows! This was so much fun. They've improved the house show experience so much. The best part was it went by so fast. It flew by. Like the first half was like 6 matches. We took a little intermission, and we had like 3 matches in the second half, and we were out of there within 2.5 hours. It was incredible.
But you had a unique, fun time.
It was.
Yeah. My whole thing is, okay, when you go to AEW shows and everyone's singing Jungle Boy, everyone's singing Judas, why can't you go to a WWE live event?
They are now.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. They got to have more of this because the interaction.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing.
I know.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
The interaction of the crowd is just phenomenal.
No, I agree with you 100%.
It doesn't help that a lot of the, I don't want to sound like a hater with my backdrop here, that a lot of the WWE music at the minute, I'm not liking a lot of it. It's not like the old days where you had, Jim Johnson doing it all.
No, I agree with you. Some of the songs are not that great. I'm going to hold the show with one of my favorites, but by the way, a little bit of bias on I got to see Bayley twice.
Oh,
which is awesome. I got 2 Bayley entrances, which is awesome for me. They did an opening fatal 4-way for the women's championship. And it was Bianca, Becky, Chelsea Green, and Bayley.
That's like my heaven. What's going on?
So that was amazing. So I got that Bayley entrance, but for normal music. And then later in the show, and oh my God, I was in my fucking heaven for this one. It was Damage Control. Bayley came out with Damage Control with Dakota and Io.
Yeah.
And on the other side, it was Candice LeRae and Mia Yim.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it was amazing. Like it was great. It was so great. So I got 2 Bayley entrances on top of everything else that night. So
I'm jealous.
So, all right. Well, now that John's here, we can get into everything else. Before we get into our main topic here, we have a few notes I want to get to that are very important to what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the show. First of all, the big news that came out of Game Changer Wrestling this past week was Masha Slamovich is now the GCW World Heavyweight Champion. She beat Nick Cage to be the first female GCW World Champion. John, I see you're excited. Go for it.
I love it. I think it's so cool. And I think it's a really bold move to not necessarily to give her the belt, because, you know, that's happened a couple of times already, but to have her beat Nick Gage, of all people, like the face of the company. Like, it's a big thing. It's putting a lot of faith in her. It's not just throwing it on her as a gimmick.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's cool. That's really good.
Yeah, I thought it was exciting. Like, oh my god, this is really awesome. I knew the show was happening. I knew the match was happening, but I went to bed early that night. I didn't watch the show live. I get up, I look at my Instagram. The first post I see is them celebrating Masha Slamovich. I was like, wait, what happened? What? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I think weirdly, people won't be like, oh, it's been spoiled for me. I think that will have made more people go, oh, hang on, I need to watch that.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. Like, what? And then going into WrestleMania weekend and having her as your champion is even crazier.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unexpected. You know, I'm not going to pretend like, oh, I saw that coming, because I didn't. Absolutely not. But I love it.
Yeah, Dad, any thoughts?
This is going to be good for the company. I mean, you're going to have, I think, more people come out than before to see what's going to happen. Hopefully, I'm knocking on wood, that her reign is going to last for a while, not like, okay, it's one and done thing.
Well,
I think the company's
she already had one defense.
Yeah, so I think the company is putting a lot of faith and goodwill towards this, and hey, let it fly. Let's see what we can do.
And I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was gonna be the one to beat Jordan Grace for the Impact Women's Championship. But then I was ended up being Mickey James because of the storyline they were telling.
Mhm.
I thought it was gonna be Masha. I really did. I thought that was gonna be what they were doing, but no, they're not. But hey, good for them here at GCW. So two big things going into Mania weekend that everyone had to adjust their WrestleMania weekend cards. Everybody did because of two people. First of all, Will Ospreay, he has a right shoulder injury that he ended up getting in the what the hell tournament was that last week? It just ended with Sonata winning. The hell tournament was that?
There's that many tournaments I do forget as well.
The hell was it last week? It was just happened last week, but in Japan. But whatever. In the tournament last week in Japan, I'll look it up real fast. Will Ospreay got injured, so he's off of all WrestleMania weekend shows due to a right shoulder injury. I know AEW is probably panicking because they really wanted to have him for Forbidden Door, so hopefully he's back in time for that.
Mhm.
Oh, I hope so, because the last Forbidden Door was really good, but it was missing a few key people, and you know, Will Ospreay is one of the key people they need there.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, he was there last year. Remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like still, was it him versus Orange Cassidy last year?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
And
great.
it was amazing. It was.
I really
great.
enjoyed that match too. I really enjoyed it.
I never would have booked that.
No way in hell. But you know what? It worked. It worked so well. So like I can't complain about that at all. So I'm literally looking up the tournament because it's bothering me that I don't know who won this tournament. What tournament this was? It's really bothering me.
I'm hoping that Will Ospreay's injury isn't too severe, that it requires any type of surgery or something like that. I know they mentioned that they thought it was a shoulder separation, and we'll see where it goes from there.
New Japan Cup. That's it was the New Japan Cup. I have it last week. There it is. I was like, I know I just.
There you go.
I was listening to the fix of Tom Martin literally this morning, and he was talking about it. And Sedano won the tournament. I'm like, what the hell tournament was it? We got about it.
They have nearly as many tournaments as AEW. God damn it.
Yay!
Sonata, that's a name from the past.
Well, Sonata, who by the way left LIJ and now is part of a new faction.
Oh.
Ooh,
So
see, there
that
you
happened
go.
at this show. So there you go. Anyway, and the other big news that broke was Dave Richards left the pole from all WrestleMania, WrestleMania weekend show, then probably from the wrestling business in general. Because of controversies surrounding abuse allegations with his current wife, ex-wife, or I don't know clue at this point. I've lost track. But yeah. Yeah, it's just like as of today, they're finally like replacing him in matches because it literally was like I was looking at cards the other day and everything was literally a question mark because no one knew what was going to happen. As of like today, they're finally like announcing matches for this to replace him. But it sucks for him. Oh, it sucks for the rest of them more than anything else. I like David Richards personally, but like it's really sucks.
I loved him as a
'Cause-
wrestler. I thought he was great. Yeah, so it is a shame to hear this about him. Obviously, you know, if he's done these things, then you don't want to work with him. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No. I agree.
No.
100%.
You know, my understanding is from these allegations is that no wrestling organization, independent or other, will not touch him because of this, and he's like persona non grata, and all he's got to do is he's got to believe himself. His tag team partner Eddie Edwards, look what he's doing. I mean, he's made a name for himself.
They've been haven't the Wolves been a team in a while? I don't think the Wolves have been a team in a while.
No, but now, you know, when he was calling himself Davey Richards, the I guess American Wolf or the Wolf, and you know, he won the Opera Cup. Then after that, I just kind of went,
Opera Cup. We're gonna talk that like that's the real thing. Like that's a real thing to win.
obviously to him, I guess it was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We make fun of MLW on this show because it's MLW. It's like the NWA. They're a joke, and I don't care.
I love them all though. If I had the time in the day, I would watch MLW. I'd watch NW. I'd watch everything.
The problem is the funny part is MLW finally gets a really good TV contract here in America. On a good station with some popular shows, and they're getting hype on the popular shows, and then Reels, they get a deal with Peacock.
Oh yeah.
But on Peacock, you can't air the wrestling with WWE. So now once their short-term contract by Reels, they're off that station. Because of WWE
That's
contract.
harsh.
And I can't blame Peacock because they have a contract. Like WWE, I can't blame them. You know, like but it was just one of those things like, really?
You know, my thing, I guess like March 26th, you start with a streaming service called Premiere Plus.
Oh,
So-
Jesus Christ, the fuck is that? The fuck is that streaming service? I haven't even heard of it. But anyway, let's get to it. WrestleMania.
Just give it a
Good.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, let's get to it.
All right, WrestleMania weekend. We obviously we talked about it before John got here. That next on Friday's show, we're going to be going through everything WWE related. But here we are, and John, just so you know, the show is going on Monday. So if you just try not to think too much about this meeting because the show's not going up on Monday. But
Okay.
but we were talking about everything going on at WrestleMania week in LA or wherever, or the city or the cities around LA, because apparently WrestleMania is actually not in LA; it's in Inglewood, California. Which is hysterical to me because people are making so I can't make fun of them for this because when WrestleMania was in Jersey and they kept saying New York, I kept saying no, they're in fucking New Jersey, so I can't really give them shit for it because we were doing the exact same thing the two times that WrestleMania was in Jersey, so I can't.
So
Why did they do that?
I don't know why.
So would you say Inglewood is a suburb of LA?
It's outside LA. It's literally like right outside LA. It's not in LA.
So it's kind of like how Reno is with Las Vegas.
Exactly.
I got it.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. So these showed maybe in LA, maybe in England. I don't know. I didn't write down the venues, but look them up yourself. If you're in LA, you'll find the shows. I'm not worried about that. But for us at home, I was going to put all the stations that you can find things on. But in reality, if you're on the Collective in DCW, they're on Fight TV Plus. And if you don't already have Fight TV Plus, like we don't, there's a 7-day trial that you can go pick it up. And that's how I'm doing WrestleMania week. It's a 7-day trial. I'm not going to bullshit you. That's what I'm doing.
It's cheap for what you get, actually. I
saying,
sound like a shill here, but no, it's cheap. You get a lot of stuff.
I know. I'm just saying, for if you don't want to pay for, like last year, I paid for all these shows. This year, I'm just doing the free trial, and we'll go from there. For WrestleCon shows, except for I think one, they're all on Fight as individual shows. And as we go through, and the other thing is, I'm not watching nearly as many shows this year because I'm at History 2 on Friday, so I'm not going to be home. I'm not going to be home on Friday, so so I only have like 2 days to watch stuff this year. So
priorities.
Yeah. So my whole Friday is going to be a CTB 2, so that's what it is. So anyway, look for an extra podcast about that next week. Don't worry about that right now. We'll worry about that next week. So what we're gonna do is I did have all the matches from all the cards, and I realized this is fucking gonna take us forever. So I decided instead we will, when we get to like the big shows, the big shows, we'll do a full preview. But for like the other shows, we'll just read the cards off, any thoughts on them, and move on. We'll do like we did last year, make it easier for ourselves, and do it that way. So we'll go around the horn, we'll have some fun, and we'll discuss these shows. We'll start with the Collective. So the way the shows are, the times are strange because we're in LA. So everything's Pacific time. But then I had to write down the Eastern time for us, so that people know, because most people who listen to the show are in the Eastern time zone and Central time zone. So like I'm like, okay. But because of the Pacific time zones, a lot of these shows have very strange start times. Very weird start times on the East Coast.
And this is the only time of year, because of these Collective shows earlier in the day, I can actually watch stuff live.
I know. I realized that as I'm looking through the shows. I'm like, this is very interesting. Let's start with I'll start here. I'll start us off with the Collective. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I have no idea what time that is by you. Is that 8 o'clock by you, John? Or 7 o'clock?
I'd have to figure it out, because as we discovered today, the time zones have changed slightly.
Apparently. That's what we learned. Yeah, behind the scenes, and we were joking about it before you come out, because we started without you, John. And I was joking around. I'm like, apparently time zones weird. Time zones are strange. So for those who think this is easy, schedule guests outside of the country, it's not. It's not as easy as we make it look sometimes. It really isn't.
So did daylight savings time play a part in this?
I think so.
That's what it is, 'cause our time doesn't change until tomorrow night as of recording.
Oh, so the next time we come on the show, it won't be a problem.
It'll be back to normal.
Got it. Okay. I know.
So I think it's around that kind of time you were saying for this, though. It's that ballpark.
Okay, because I was just thinking about that. Like, that's weird. Because I was also thinking, like, because next time we're coming out, we'll probably not be until like May. So like for like Double or Nothing. So I'm like, oh yeah, we'll have to worry about that when we get there.
Yeah, don't worry.
Anyway, let's start with the Collective. We have Santina Bros Wrestling California Love, but one of the guys from Wrestling Inc., I think it's Glenn Rubenstein, is doing the commentary for this. So that's pretty cool. He's been promoting it for the last few weeks on the Wrestling podcast. I think it's him. I'll have to look it up. I think it's Glenn Rubenstein. He's doing the commentary for this. The main matches for this, it is the Southern Brewer Wrestling Championship. It is Chick Cabrera versus Willie Mack. Which I was like, oh, Willie Mack, I know him. He's awesome.
Love Willie Mack, yeah.
The Inner City Championship, Delilah Doom, Heather Monroe, and Joni Robbie. I don't know any of these women.
I'm obsessed with Delilah Doom. I actually discovered her on Instagram. I hadn't even seen her have a match yet at the time. I love her. She's got this gimmick where she kind of is she's like an 80s fitness person. So she's got all like neon lycra spandex outfits and headbands and stuff.
That's very up your alley. That's very up your alley.
Let's get physical.
Yeah.
Wow. So and then we have Beth Tito versus Matt Vandergriff and one of your people, Kid Bandit.
Hey, love Kid Bandit.
Yes, you do. Taking out Eli Everfly. So what I'm going to do, by the way, I'm going to keep my notepad up, and I might have called this the Speedball Mike Bailey rule. And for people that are on multiple shows, at the end of this show, we'll see how many matches they're on. I'm going to call it the Speedball Mike Bailey rule, because that was last year.
Yeah.
We were on so many damn shows last year that we almost lost track by the end of it. So I'm going to keep track of this as we go. And see if it is Speedball again this year who has the most matches. Dad, why don't you take the next show from WrestleCon? Go for it. Well, the next show, the one
at 4 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, High Smash TV, WrestleCon, March's Cock Memorial Super Show. And starting it off with, I'm looking at this AAA Mega Championship with Hijo de Vikingo, champion versus Commander versus Black Taurus.
By the way, I want to say something. I'm about Therese, by the way. But so I have never seen I'm trying to say this right. Vikingo?
I think it was Vikingo.
Yes.
I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying my damnedest. This one, because I have a feeling it's going to be a name I'm going to have to say 1,000 times for the rest of my life. I've never seen him wrestle before.
Same.
And on Dynamite, his match with Omega blew me out of the fucking water.
I know people go, oh yeah, but AEW's got loads of flippy guys. Yeah, but I've never seen anyone do that.
No, that match was special. Like that was special. That was a debut I've ever seen one. Like that was incredible. You made me a fan. I'm a fan now. Good, Dad. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, what he's done, especially with the ropes and his high spots, is phenomenal. And then we've got United Empire, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Jeff Cobb versus Time Machine with Kushida, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley.
By the way, so I was showing this card to CJ. He's like, wait, are the machine guns still a thing? I'm like, yeah, but when they tag with Kushida, now they're a Time Machine.
Yeah, because the other team there is the Time
Splitters.
So,
right.
combine.
There you go.
And by the way, Jeff Cobb is replacing Will Ospreay in this match.
That's what I kind of figured when
that got announced literally this morning. Like as of this morning when we're recording this, that was announced. Like literally, I'm on Twitter checking matches, and they announced the update to this match. So
I think that's a cool substitute. To be
definitely,
very different type of wrestler, but
it's still the United Empire too. It's still the United Empire, so you can get away with it there. Good.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Then we got Ultimo Dragon versus Negro Casas.
Which
and
is
then,
what? How did this happen? How did this match happen?
Old school.
Yeah, very old school. And then Shigehiro Iri versus Speedball Mike Bailey, our favorite.
Yeah,
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Speedball's another one of mine.
Oh, the way I forgot to turn the volume up. There you go. Speedball count. We're at 1. I fixed the soundboard, people. I fixed the volume problems. I fixed the volume problems on the soundboard.
I'm always backing Mike Bailey. Come on.
We'll get to more Mike Bailey in a minute. Why don't you jump over to back to the collective? Same time as this show, John, but the other collective.
Yeah, exactly the same time. 4 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Have I got that right? You've written it down as 8. Is that correct?
Oh, no, it's 8. It's 7.
I'm not American. I don't know.
It's
7. There you go. Yeah, it's the collective again. It's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 9.
This is number 9, by the one. This is the number 9.
Yeah, how have they got to 9 already? What
the first few, like Matt Riddle, and then they changed over to Josh Barnett?
Yeah, I think the first one
or 2. I can look it up. I can look it up real fast, but I could have sworn it was originally Matt Riddle.
But then he got signed by WWE, so they were like, "Oh crap!" But we want to keep this going, so yeah. So we've got. I mean, every match on this is going to be hard fought. Josh Barnett versus Timothy Thatcher.
Well, these are the highlight matches. There's more matches in this announced. This is the big matches.
Oh yeah. But like, whoa, that's going to be violent.
Okay, so I never watched the Blood. Have you watched the Blood first, John? How does this work?
I have watched it. How do I describe it? It's basically, it's like a shoot. No, it's like a worked MMA match.
Okay, that sounds weird. Maybe I'll watch this year.
It's a ring that they've removed the ropes from.
Okay.
And you've got to keep it in the ring. It's very complicated. Basically, the matches are all really short as well because it's meant to be real. And if you're smacking someone in the face repeatedly, they're gonna go out. You know?
Fair enough. I can't argue.
So they either have to submit or get knocked out as well. So
okay, that's fair.
Yeah. You got Kota Ibushi versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Ooh. That's gonna be a great matchup.
That's gonna be. That was like the first match announced for this. That was like the first match announced. I'm like, whoa. Okay, you wouldn't be over with this one.
And Kota Ibushi's a hot commodity right now.
Yeah. Kota Ibushi's all over these cards as we go through this, by the way. He's all over these cards too.
I love that about him, that he's just gone, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm not just gonna dip my toe into this world, in America. I'm gonna dive right in. I'm gonna do everything.
I can't blame him.
It's a great idea, and I never expected him to do Bloodsport because he's tough.
Absolutely not.
But this tends to be for people
like our next match.
Like the next match, yeah. Jon Moxley versus Alex. I can never pronounce this properly. Is it Coughlin?
I think it's Coughlin.
Yeah. There are different pronunciations.
By the way, Alex Coughlin replacing Davey Richards in this match.
Yeah.
It was originally Mox Davey Richards, and it's now Mox Coughlin. So it is announced this morning.
That'll be interesting. I assume Mox is winning that, but
I think so too. I think it's obvious.
Yeah, especially with the match changing at the last minute. Marina Shafir versus Killer Kelly.
I saw this. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? We're just here in a blood match. Like, what?
Well, last year Marina Shafir was on Bloodsport.
Oh, she was. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, and it was good because that's the world she comes from.
Exactly what got my attention. I'm like, whoa.
And I still don't really know why it doesn't translate to normal pro wrestling very well. They need to do something with her. There was that random 2 weeks where AEW gave her a cool hat.
I remember that. That was random and weird.
Very weird.
Strange. By the way, you know what's funny? Go back to Shayna Baszler. She had it very severe in her corner back in the day, like back when Shayna Baszler was over in NXT. So like, definitely had something going on in NXT.
Well, then we've got Johnny Bloodsport. Can you guess who that is? Versus Royce Isaacs.
I only put this on here because it cracked me up every time Johnny is on a show and changes his name. It cracks me up every time. It's a stupid joke. It makes me laugh every time.
Johnny Mundo, Johnny Ring of Honor,
Johnny Mundo,
Johnny AEW.
We're talking about the history of the show about Johnny Elite. It was Johnny Elite.
Johnny Elite.
Even though really he should have been Johnny Dynamite as a reference to being Johnny Nitro.
True, but I do want to throw out there that Johnny Mundo, probably one of my worst interviews of all time on this show's history. So go ahead.
Oh God, really? Oh, I'll ask you off, Mike.
Yeah,
we've got Jeff Cobb versus Bad Dude Tito.
Yeah, Bad Dude Tito's all over the place. He's all over the place. It's weird.
But I'm a big Jeff Cobb person because I know him back from when he was Matanza. I still call him Matanza. I don't like to call him Jeff Cobb.
Matanza Cueto.
And that was a cooler character as well. No offense, Jeff Cobb, but Matanza seemed like, that person's going to murder me.
Well, he was murdering people because he was. He really was. That was the thing that would happen. For those who did not want to underground, Matanza would literally sacrifice people to Matanza.
People would just die on the show, like you're watching The Wire.
But that would be the way of releasing people out of their contract, was feeding them to Matanza. Literally feeding them.
And then his opponent just vanished in thin air.
Underground was such a weird place. It was such a weird place.
Greatest show.
And then Jeff Cobb kind of came in the Ring of Honor, and then he did a little bit on AEW, and now he's in
Japan, though. He's big in New Japan.
He was tremendous in New Japan, especially when he was going to the tournaments. He was just phenomenal.
I'll jump on now to WrestleCon. It is 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. So this is a late start for people on the East Coast. John, you know all about late starts, so you don't feel bad for anybody in the America with these cards.
Screw you all.
But this is actually a show we're going to break down and look at the entire card because this is actually a fun one. This is Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling Multiverse United after last year, where they did the Multiverse Madness last year.
Yeah,
which was a successful show. That was a really successful show and probably one of my favorite shows of the whole weekend last year. So I'm glad they did this again. But I also like to thank them for not announcing it at the last fucking minute like last year and completely throwing off everyone's WrestleMania weekend plans like they did last year. You gave us proper notice that the show is happening this year, so thank you for that. By the way, I'll be watching this show probably on Saturday because it's a Thursday night. We're not watching any wrestling Thursday night. We're taking the night to watch other things, catch up on our DVR. So on the weekend, it's all wrestling for like 3 days, straight days. So that's what's happening. And also, I think the Devils and the Rangers are playing a game too. The Devils and the Rangers are playing, so like it's what it is. By the way, picking up hockey, for those listening, if you're listening to this, God damn it, I hope so, because tonight the Devils will complete playoff spot. So hopefully, by the time you hear this on Monday, I've been celebrating the Devils in the playoff for the first time in like a decade. So, and by the way, for those saying yes, they made the playoff in 2018, I don't count that playoff berth because that was an embarrassment. So first time in a decade, I get to actually celebrate the Devils being in the playoffs. Anyway. Back to Impact versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. You want hockey talk? Go back to the show a couple weeks ago. We had a full hour talking about hockey. Anyway, let's go to the show. We have Yuya Uemura versus Gabriel Kidd. That sounds like something to be opening match of the show. So that's fun. Fred Rosser, Alex Coughlin, Sami Callihan, and PCO versus Eddie Edwards, Joe Hendry, Tom Lawler, and JR Kronos. Holy shit, this is a crazy 8-man tag.
That's a lot of people.
Yes.
I'm not.
I feel sorry for the ref because he's not going to be able to keep order with all those guys.
Yay!
That's what always does make me laugh with wrestling, though. Like in, you know, if I hate to use this word, if it was real, shall we say? That's a stupid term. But you know, if it was a true sport, you'd be like, hang on, it's an 8-man tag. We're gonna have to have multiple referees out here.
Yeah.
No,
But it's funnier that there's not.
Makes no sense why there's not. Makes no sense.
I see PCO coming off and doing a dive off the top turnbuckle on the outside, and everyone gets knocked over.
How does fucking PCO not have a broken back by now? I mean, the weird backdrops outside of the ring. How does that man not have a broken back?
To be honest with you, I think mentally he blocks out a lot of the pain, so he can.
You can block out pain, but how do you not break your back? It's one thing to block pain out. I agree with you. 100%. I 100% agree with you. He probably did block out the pain, but blocking out pain does not say, "Oh fuck, I broke my back."
I'm just so happy he's out there doing his thing still. It's wild.
Oh no, I give him a lot of credit. Anything, 100% credit, but it's just hysterical to me.
He's reinvented himself.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. It's just very funny to me. Like how this man hasn't broken his back yet. It's weird to me. Because it's not like he's a young body. It's not like he's young, you know?
Or dislocated other things.
Something. Moving on. We have Jeff Cobb. We were talking about Jeff Cobb. This is actually one of the first matches announced for the show with Jeff Cobb versus Moose.
Another heavy hitter.
Like, wow. I showed it. This is literally one of the first matches they announced for the show. They announced 3 matches, and this is one of the ones they sold the show on. Was this match? Like, wow.
I'm into this one. That match alone would make me interested, to be honest.
Well, the next match was originally supposed to be Will Ospreay, but he obviously is hurt. He can't be on the show. They replaced him with Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I think that's an amazing switch because
it is.
It's almost like an upgrade in a way because you know, the American viewers are used to seeing Will Ospreay a little bit now, but Tanahashi doesn't turn up too much.
No, he does not. But he is facing our man, Speedball Mike Bailey. For those keeping track, by the way, we're at 3. Keep track at home.
Speedball is going to have to make sure he doesn't get caught in Tanahashi's bunch of moves he's going to put on.
I was want to see where you're going with the sentence. I didn't know you were going with the sentence at all.
Remember, high five flow.
Yeah.
So let me move on to the Impact World Tag Team Championship match. And what's interesting about this is like all these teams are actually in Impact. So this actually can have a title change. That's interesting to me.
Oh yeah, good point.
It is the Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, taking on Aussie Open, taking on TMDK, Shane Hayes and Dad Dutito, and the Motor City Machine Guns, who are the former champs. And they just re-signed with the company just yesterday, by the way.
Could that be a sign?
I don't know. I just can't believe Motor City Machine Guns is still a thing in 2023.
I'm kind of looking at maybe there'll be a title change.
It's interesting. Yeah. I like this matchup because I don't know. That's the best part. Like I have zero clue what they're going to do here.
I mean, all these teams are really evenly matched, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I like it. It's really, really cool. The other match, our next title match is the Impact X Division Championship match. It's a typical Impact Scramble match. If you don't know those, well, I'm sorry. It makes me laugh that they're still doing Impact Scramble matches, the X Division matches in 2023 when they've been doing this since 2002.
Yeah. GCW do a similar thing. Don't worry.
So it's Trey Miguel defending his championship against Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, and Rocky Romero.
God bless Rocky, he's still doing it.
I'm a huge fan of Rocky, but I mean, at this point, do you give him the X Division title?
I don't think so. I think you keep the belt on Trey. Apparently, what's funny about I love the fact that Trey Miguel is X Division champion and Wes Lee is the North American champion in NXT.
Yep.
I think that's pretty damn cool. The Rascals are champions in separate companies right now. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, spreading their influence, like the Bullet Club, you know.
Exactly. It's weird, right? It's really cool how that worked out. Women's championship match. So they announced all these men's matches, and then Deonna Purrazzo literally posts on a matchup. Can you announce a women's match for this show already? You announced one. So they did. It is Mickie James defending the Impact Knockouts World Championship against Deonna Purrazzo. Love her.
Love her.
Giselle Shaw and Mio Yamashita.
Oh,
Did I get it right?
Miyu Yamashita.
I was close.
I'm a huge fan, but
Yep.
what gets me about this is she's not in New Japan. Miyu Yamashita's from Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Well, Joshi Pro and New Japan are probably the same thing, aren't they, at this point?
No, this
Oh,
is
I'm thinking
the-
opposite. I'm thinking opposite. I'm thinking opposite. I'm opposite. I went opposite. Sorry.
well, there is a
Whoa.
weird relationship, I think, because it's TJPW is owned by Cyber Agent, who basically they own DDT and Noah.
You know what it is, though? Joshi Pro was part of WrestleCon.
Yeah, it must be some
Well,
kind of.
they have a
out
show.
something.
They have a show on 31st. They have a show on this whole lineup later on the show. So
See, I don't want to be biased, but I say have Yamashita win because she can stay in America for a little bit then. Because she is actually at the moment she's a champion of one of our promotions here as well, Pro Wrestling Eve. So maybe she could just be doing an international thing for a while,
I don't want to be biased, but I am picking my girl Deonna Purrazzo.
Normally I would.
I am. As a Jersey guy, I am. So
I do love her. I'll let you off.
Well, then I guess I'll throw my name in the ring and I'll basically say, yeah, that Miss Mickie James retains.
by the way, Mickie James. How old is Mickie James? She's put in the ring gear she's wearing right now. She's hotter than most of the younger women wrestlers in the business right now. Like, holy shit, I love her so much.
Could that be because we are aging and she's
Maybe.
it's more
Maybe
age
that's what it
appropriate?
is. Maybe that's what it is. But I've always found her attractive. Like, I've always found Mickie James attractive. But
Same.
right now,
Well,
It's
you
so
know what they
ridiculously
say,
attractive.
50 is the new 30.
like,
Yeah.
it's insane to me how attractive she is right now. Like, it's crazy. She's 43.
She's
She looks better than ever.
43.
I couldn't believe it. She's 40. Look up. She's 40.
Damn, I thought she was like 37.
Yeah, she's 43 years old and she looks fucking amazing.
Damn.
So,
I guess she's one of those women that gets better with age.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, moving on, we have the Strong Openweight Championship. Kenta defending against Mauro Suzuki. What the
Oh,
fuck?
God.
This match just randomly
Wait,
showed up
whoa,
on Twitter the other day.
whoa,
This match just
whoa.
randomly announced yesterday. Like, what?
Wow. Are we gonna have a slap fest or what?
Yeah, it's gonna be so aggressive.
I was like, what happened here? Like, what? Where did this come from?
That's another one on this card where I'm instantly like, yeah, I'm in. I'm watching it.
Uh-huh.
So Kenta kind of knew what he was getting into, hopefully.
I was stunned, but it's announced. It's got announced in the last couple of days. And I'm like, wait, what? what happened here? That did not
Hey,
happen coming at all.
This is right, up in Kenta's wheelhouse though, because he came up in Noah.
I agree.
That's
What's fun
that's
about
all
it
that
is
kind of
that,
style.
they are defending the Strong Openweight Championship on the show. Last year they did not. So I'm actually happy they're doing it. Unfortunately, it's not for the roster. It's Kenta, but still pretty damn cool if you're doing it.
So do we expect a run-in from Bullet Club members?
More than likely. They're on the show. They are on the show. So why
And
not?
that's the whole thing, isn't it? Run-ins.
Yeah. Well, that's actually how Kenta won the title.
Yeah.
He beat Fred Rosser because of Deuce Robinson interfering and costing Fred Rosser the belt. I had to find a way to get that in there somewhere.
You gotta go rock hard. Okay.
My voice can't handle doing that too many times, but I had to get it in there at least once. And of course, the main event, the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, the longest reigning Impact/TNA World Champion of all time, Jock Alexander, taking on Kushida.
Hmm.
This is gonna be a great match.
Which, wow,
I don't think you should take it off Josh though.
absolutely not. You keep this
For
belt on him as
Kushida.
long as you can.
No,
Belt on him as
no.
long as you possibly can, because it's a big deal. I think he finally passed. He passed Bobby Roode for the longest reigning champion in Impact TNA history.
Yeah, yeah.
Big deal.
Then again, I saw earlier today that Jordan Grace was hanging out with Goldberg and joking about him joining Impact. Have Goldberg win.
You see the memes that were going around?
Well,
Goldberg joining AEW. You see the memes going around?
Yeah.
Well, from my understanding is that Tony Khan was interested in him in 2019, and as soon as he heard that Goldberg was no longer with WWE, he made some calls and don't don't be surprised if you would see him coming on an AEW show.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something I said to Sal with this exact conversation. We had the exact conversation the other day. I'm gonna tell him what I said to him.
Mhm.
I want Goldberg to come in.
Yeah.
Like 3 dates. But I want him to be in like world title matches and like TV title matches to fuck with everybody watching and then have him lose all 3 times. That's what I want to see happen. For no other reason, just to fuck with the audience because it'd be so much fucking fun.
I think as long as he doesn't come in and beat everybody, I'd be fine with him coming in because you'd be stupid as Tony Khan not to consider it.
Oh no, I agree.
It's the name value. You know?
Exactly, but like it's like Jeff Jarrett right now. I originally I was not a big fan of Jeff Jarrett coming in, and now I give him credit. He's putting everybody over. Like holy shit, putting everybody over. And that's going to be with Goldberg. Then I'm okay with it. You know,
I would love to see Wardlow versus Goldberg. I really would.
just for the fun of it. Just the crowd alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I took us down a tangent there. I apologize.
Fine, that's fine, absolutely fine. We're allowed.
I mean, if you really want to get Wardlow over, yeah. I mean,
You're worrying about tangents on this show, really, John? You're worrying about tangents on this show? you hold that minute and you're worrying about tangents on this show?
Well, we've got a lot to cover, you know.
Well, John, how about you jump on to our next show from the Collective?
Oh, yes.
Go for it.
So, the next show, 8 p.m. again, /11 p.m. Eastern time, is the Collective's DDT Pro Wrestling sort of crossover thing. If I don't know what we want to call it.
Well, there is a GCW versus DDT show coming up too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. So a couple of notable matches here. We've got Eddie Kingston and Jun Akiyama versus Daisuke Sasaki and Kanon.
The fact that Eddie Kingston's getting the tag with Jun Akiyama is amazing for him. Like I cannot believe they did this. This is awesome.
That interests me again alone. Like just I don't care who they face. Basically, it's just as long as I see them together, that's great.
Exactly.
Was Akiyama the guy who trained him in?
Is it trained him or one of his heroes? I think it's one of his heroes. I think it's one of his heroes.
He might have trained him actually. I'm
Look
not
it up,
sure.
Rebecca.
You might be right.
Look it up, Rebecca. Look it up, Rebecca. I'll look it up.
Well, we've also got Konosuke Takeshita versus Yuki Ueno, which will be that'll be a good one as well. I mean, Takeshita's always good. He was the DDT champion not that long back, you know.
Yeah, and Takeshita's amazing, by the way. I did not realize how damn good he is.
Well, when I first started getting into DDT, which is quite recent, it's only in the last few years, he was the champion, and it was sold to me as like, oh yeah, he's the big up and coming guy. He puts on all the bangers, you know. He's the Okada of DDT.
Oh, by the way, to answer the question, Eddie Kingston was trained by Kevin Knight and Mike Quackenbush. So there you go.
Okay.
So there you go.
We've also got Joey Janela versus Tetsuya Endo.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, good for you, Janela. This is good. He has some blockbuster matches on this whole weekend, Joey Janela.
Oh, yeah.
Another one in a minute to spring break. But he's
That's the thing. I know he didn't work out too well in AEW for various reasons, but you know, he always puts on a good show in other companies. You know, in GCW, he's always doing great things. Okay, he sometimes does stupid things like setting his foot on fire. Yeah. But you know, he's trying something new.
Although I want to note, by the way, this is the first year we only have one night of spring break. We don't have 2 nights.
Yeah,
there's a clusterfuck this year. There's a clusterfuck this year. So I really enjoyed that last year. So there's no clusterfuck this year.
Yeah, I loved it actually. I wasn't expecting to, and it turned out to be one of the best bits.
Yeah. So all right, Dad, I'll throw it to you for our next show from the Collective, the ridiculous show at the ridiculous hour that makes John like Americans.
What the hell time are we going? 11:59 p.m. We couldn't go for 12 a.m.
No, because the show starts on the 30th. That's why the show has to start on the 30th.
Okay, and if you're on the East Coast, then you're gonna watch it at 2:59 a.m. So
that's why I said John's laughing at the East Coast people right now.
There you go. This Collective for the Cure Pan-African World Disposable Wrestling Championship. We have Man Like Darius versus
Hang on.
Wow.
Go back up a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Trishadora.
Oh, I'm okay that way. Okay. Trishador is champion versus Kelvin Tankman.
I was waiting for that reaction. I was waiting for that.
What the hell?
I got announced this morning, like literally this morning. I'm going to the card. I'm like, wait, what? What?
What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I
Nora.
like Calvin Tankman, but what's happening? What?
I mean,
Nora.
I mean,
Is Myron Reed.
I mean,
Like yesterday.
that's like the literal squash match.
What's funny about
No
it,
pun intended.
I didn't expect this at all. Like I was like, wait, what's going on here? Because it was really
Calvin Tankman. Oh my god.
So like this morning, I'm like, wait, what? What? So okay, continue.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen Calvin Tankman, and for as big as he is, okay, Too Cold Scorpio, he's still around.
Yeah.
Versus Brian Keith.
I love that.
And then our guy Willie Mack versus Billy Dixon.
Oh,
And Man
yeah.
Like Therese versus Myron Reed versus Kevin Knight.
So yeah, that was for the culture. There are more matches announced, like a scramble match, like there's like a 10-man tag. There's like some ridiculous matches for the show.
It's always a really cool event as well. I like this one. So I reckon people should check it out. Even if you don't know some of the names, doesn't matter.
I feel the same way about
You're
other
gonna
shows
love
later on in this card. We'll get to.
Yeah.
But move on to Friday. We're now on Friday, the 31st, and we'll start the collective. I'll start here. There's Jimmy Lloyd, Degeneration F, which, by the way, the title of the show cracked up CJ so much. He thought that was a hysterical name.
They always have hilarious names, these shows. That's my favorite thing about GCW.
We have Titus Alexander versus Cole Radrick. We have Starboy Charlie versus Alec Price. Kenzie Page versus Sandra Moon, who I loved at Effy last year. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That'll be a fun match, that one. I'm looking forward to that.
Jake Cartwheel versus Hunter Drake. And Bobby Orlando versus Toiler Rack.
Oh, Sawyer Rack is the most violent person in the world. So that's going to be something else. Like she'll staple things into people's heads and stuff.
But that's at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. But by the way, I love the fact that all these shows are so early in the East Coast, but everyone can sleep in on the West Coast, and the people on the East Coast can sleep in a little bit. And start the show a little later.
Also, let me just say, if
Like a lot of coffee.
if your only experience of Jack Cartwheel is that random 5 seconds he was on AEW,
So weird, by the way.
so weird because he's amazing. You've
So,
got to
John,
check him out.
I'll throw it to you for the next one because you might be the only one here that can pronounce these names.
Oh God! Now the pressure's on. I may have studied Japanese a little bit, but that was like a decade ago. So at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, we have WrestleCon's Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Woo! Exciting. So we have Tuka Sakazaki and Mizuki versus my most amazing, perfect people in the world, Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita, also called 1 to Million. That's their tag team name.
Okay.
So I mean, they're going to win. I would assume, but never assume with Tokyo Joshi. We've got Miyu Watanabe and Shoko Nakajima versus Heidi Howitzer and Max the Impaler. They're currently they were holding the belts. So by the time you hear this, that might have changed, obviously. Yeah, but I love having them in because TJPW don't often get people from outside of Japan coming in. They have had in the past that they had Thunder Rosa, 1 or 2 people, but not loads. And we've got Hyper Misao and Trish Adora versus Raku and Yuki Aino.
There you go. You have a full card, by the way, if you go to Tokyo Joshi, but they have like a 10-match card for this show. It's absolutely insane what they've announced for this. But hey, you know what? Those are some good highlight matches for everybody here. Let's go back up with the collective. Dad, why don't you take this next show?
Hey, this one is at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, the collective, and it's GCW versus DDT. Blake Christian from GCW versus Katsushika Heihachi DDT.
There you go.
Tony Deppen. Wow. And Homicide. It's an odd pairing. From GCW versus Akiyama and Tensei Indito from DDT. Here we go.
Yeah, this next one.
Effy and Alley Catch, GCW versus the Phenomenons. Yoshi. I'm s- Ah. Yeah, I had to put the emphasis on. Okay.
Oh, that match though, everyone has to. If you like comedy in wrestling, watch that. If you don't like comedy in wrestling, avoid it, because the pheromones, it's very comedic and extremely homoerotic.
Do you want Yukino? Okay. Wow. Oh,
Sometimes moments happen that I don't plan, and this is one of those moments.
Usi. It's kind of like Usi. All right.
Yeah, that was too funny.
Uh,
That was funny. I'm glad we did that. That was great.
East West Express, Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne from GCW versus Moonlight Express, Mayo and Speedball, Mike Bailey. One more time, Speedball.
Hang on, here we go. There it is.
There you go.
I was typing a note and I forgot to bring the soundboard up. Oh my god, that was too damn funny.
Oh my god. I had to put the emphasis. I'm sorry.
Oh. Holy shit. Okay. Let's move on. Back to WrestleCon, 4 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I gotta get my sense. Gotta get back here.
They're never going to recover.
Yeah. Prestige Nervous Breakdown. That's the name of the show. The name of the company is Prestige, and the show's called Nervous Breakdown. I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
It is the West Coast Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. I thought that's hysterical to me. It is Titus Alexander versus Michael Oki, and then we have the Time Splitters. It's exciting.
Hey.
Kushida and Alex Shelley and Ultimo Dragon.
He's one of them now, apparently.
Apparently, versus
There you go.
Tom Lawler, Joe Nelson, and Royce Isaacs. Masha Slamovich versus Aja Kong, which is what the fuck? How did this happen? And
That's wild. Yeah, because I thought Aja Kong only really turned up occasionally in like TJPW now.
yeah, well, there you go. And then you have Ty Valkyrie, who's now in AEW, taking on Miyu, trying to help me out here again. John, go.
Miyu Yamashita.
Thank you.
That'll be another hard hitting one because Miyu, she's really like her thing is martial arts. She's famous for her like spinning kick, and you know Taya's quite a tough woman, so it's going to be aggressive. Yeah.
All right, so let's jump over to Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, taking place over at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. This is head to head with the go home show of the go home SmackDown and Joey Janela Spring Break. So goddamn it, 3 things going on at the same time, which is insane. But this is the Ring of Honor show. So John, I'll ask you real fast: have you been watching the weekly Ring of Honor show on Honor Club?
I'll be honest, I haven't, and it's purely because I'm about to change jobs, and there's going to be a period where I'm not getting any money.
Fair.
In between the 2 jobs. So I'm trying to cut back on my costs for a little bit until it's sorted.
Oh, fair enough. You're
So
allowed.
once that's out of the way, once I'm in my new post, I will be subscribing to Honor Club. If it was on Fight TV, I probably would have caved and got it.
Yeah. I will say, I have my issues with the show right now.
Oh, okay.
They're starting. The problem I'm having is number one, why the fuck is this show 2+ hours every week? That's number one. Number two, why is half this show like I'm watching an episode of AEW Dark? You'll probably love it, John, but I don't watch Dark, so like, I don't know who these people are. So like,
Yeah, but Ring of Honor kind of always looked a bit like that, I think.
it's weird. Some of the highlights are fun, and this lineup is fantastic, but like the show's weird. I haven't even finished this week's show yet because I usually do it when I'm doing laundry, but this day has been different because we're doing the show on a Friday. So like my day's been a little different today, so I have to go back to it when I'm finishing laundry later.
It just seems like they put too many matches in the 2 hours. It's like you're being force fed.
Yeah, slow down a tiny bit, especially when you're hyping up a pay-per-view. Slow down a little. That's all I have to say. Like, slow down a tiny bit. But this is a hell of a fucking show. So we'll go through it. Every match right now announced is a title match. Every one of them. Go figure.
that kind of plays into it plays into people thinking that AEW had too many titles. Some
and
people
one of these titles is even Ring of Honor. So,
Yeah.
go figure. And so let's go through the show. First of all, we have the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championship. And to their credit, they have been hyping this damn match up on the show. I give them a lot of credit for that. Because they literally formed a team and they gave them the theme music now, and it's really cool.
Oh, okay.
So it is the Embassy, Brian Cage and the other two guys that I don't want to bother pronounce their names, versus with Prince Nana, which, by the way, for some reason is wearing a really strange red Santa hat on television right now. I have no idea why. I have no idea why.
Prince Nana can do whatever he wants. He's amazing.
Versus the team who just want a match on this week's show to get into this match. It's one of those things where, like, go win a match and then you can have the title match. And then they did. It is Blake Christian, AR Fox, and Metalik.
So is this a sign that AR Fox is sort of switching over to Ring of Honor exclusively? Or
Well, he was in the first main event on Ring of Honor too, against Claudio.
Yeah.
So I think so. I think AR Fox is moving over here, which is not a bad thing.
Yep.
Honestly, it's not a bad thing at all, because they're actually letting him do his thing over here.
Yeah.
I don't expect the title change, but I'm interested in this match.
I am, because I'm a huge fan of Brian Cage. It's sort of from the past, shall we say. But he hasn't, I don't know what the problem is. He hasn't been working lately, and I don't know why. So being in the Embassy has been quite interesting, but I haven't seen a lot of it. So I want to watch this one.
I will admit, it's actually nice because he's being the badass Brian Cage again. Like, he's being the no fucks given Brian Cage again.
Well, exactly. He should have always been. That's why it should have worked out with Taz. I don't know what happened with that.
So, I don't know. Dad, any thoughts on this match?
I would love for the challengers to win, but I don't think that, I don't see that happening. But yeah, for some reason, Brian Cage, when he's in these matches, he's not like in them for a very long period of time. And you've got Toliona and Khan that basically are doing his heavy work. So
yeah. I do have some title changes on my card as we go through this card. So I do have some title changes I see happening. So this is not one of them. Speaking of which, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. It is the Reach for the Sky ladder match announced by Mark Briscoe. We will have new champions officially. And they said we're going to have a ladder match with some of the best tag teams in the world. And then, I don't know if they announced it in Ring of Honor TV because I haven't finished the show. But when I turned to Ring of Honor this week, it was one team. And then I saw a graphic with this entire lineup. I'm like, whoa. They decided to do this. It is the Lucha Bros versus Top Flight versus the Kingdom versus Bruch and Delistico versus Aussie Open.
Ooh, holy crap! And I can't call a winner.
I will put the belt on Top Flight, but I don't know. I don't know what to do here.
Actually, I would love for the Lucha Bros to win this, because then that's another tag team belt that they have under their reign.
That's true.
So I would want to see them to do this. And then to basically have the Kingdom challenge them down the road.
They're already doing
That's an interesting point, though, the Kingdom, because do you maybe give it to them? Because then you're sort of starting off this new era with an established Ring of Honor team.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Or do you want it fresh?
Well, they're a heel team too, and they have a feud going with Top Flight. So I see those teams winning this. I almost see the Kingdom winning and screwing over Top Flight for the belts.
Yeah.
I can see that happening, and then that's your first real feud for the titles after this show.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
They already have a feud going on, so you might as well keep it going.
Yep.
You might as well. So I don't understand why this match is happening at all, because they were setting up a ROH Women's World Championship match between Athena and fuck, why am my brain not working now? Oh, Willow Nightingale. And then they had the match on TV. I don't know why, and it was a great match. And then they throw Willow into this strange feud with the Outsiders over on Dynamite.
Mm.
So now Athena put out a challenger. So Athena, challenged Yuki Sasaki for this match.
But again, right? Yuka is from TJPW, and in TJPW, she's amazing, and she can be. You might not believe it to look at her, but she can be really physical. So I want to see that Yuka.
Fair enough. That is the match for the title. So.
Why do I think that Yuka is going to be the heavy hitter out of this match?
I don't see Athena dropping the belt personally because her
No.
character is. I'm loving Athena's Ring of Honor character. It is such a hard. It's what Athena should be. She's a badass bitch, and I love it. Like she's a badass bitch. She's a badass bitch that the freaking interviewers are scared of her now.
I mean, you're talking about the cold, heartless bitch.
She is what Jade Cargill should be.
I would agree with you.
That's what I feel.
Correct.
I feel like they're doing what they think they're doing with Jade Cargill with Athena. That's what I feel like they're doing right now.
I mean, you're selling it to me. You're making me want to subscribe right now.
Our next match is awesome. It is Samoa Joe defending their Ring of Honor Television Championship against Mark Briscoe. If they do not put this belt on Mark Briscoe, I will be absolutely fucking stunned.
Yeah,
If they don't put the belt on Mark Briscoe, if they don't put the belt on Mark Briscoe, I can see the crowd turning ugly really quick.
Yeah, and especially because he's giving up the tag belts for this ladder match, and then apparently he's never won the TV championship.
No, he hasn't.
Put this damn belt on him now. They put this belt on him immediately.
And Joe's had it for a while, off and on.
I mean, look at everything he's accomplished, and then what his brothers accomplished when they kind of broke apart for a little bit.
I agree.
So I mean,
So all right, then we have this match is random as fuck. It's because so on TV, Real Yuta, to his credit, has been defending the Ring of Honor Pro Championship like every week on Ring of Honor television. He's had these open challenges. He's having really good matches. Like he had a match against Clark Connors on last week's show. It's been really cool. And then all of a sudden, right after the Clark Connors match, he gets on the mic, cut a promo, and said he starts talking shit about the New Japan dojo, and LA dojo, and then he goes and says, "Fine, I beat your top student. Now I want you." And he calls out Kuru Shibata. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? It's Yuta versus Shibata for the Pure Championship.
This is a match where, this is going to be a match. Just be careful what you ask for because you're going to get your ass kicked.
Wow.
That's what I'm interested in because Wheeler Yuta, I think, he's okay. He's okay. But now he seems to be more the character that I want to see. And that up against Shibata. It's like, ooh.
What's fun about Yuta defending his title has been he's doing the heel thing with the rules, where he's making people go into the ropes and waste their I can't think of the word right now. But they've got the ropes. I can't think of the word.
Like the rope break.
Rope break.
Rope break. Thank you. Rope break was not my brain. They were wasting their rope breaks, and then he will beat them with submission in the ropes because it's legal now. After he keeps doing it the heel, like it's really smart.
Clever.
It's really smart wrestling. Like that's how his matches have been going for the Pure Championship. Like I think that's really smart.
I want Shibata to win and kick Wheeler's ass and make Wheeler submit.
Oh yeah.
That would be fun. Why not? Do it.
Why not? Weirder things have happened. I think he was going to retain, but weirder things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a match that was just announced because of the popularity of the match against Omega on Wednesday. That's literally how they announced this on Twitter. They said because of how much how popular he was after Wednesday, we're gonna have him defend his title. It is the AAA Mega Championship. It is we try this without asking for help. El Hijo del Vikingo.
Close.
Versus Commander on the belt. There's no way you're taking the belt off him, but damn, this is gonna be a hell of a match.
No.
Well, isn't this his second title defense against Commander in the space of 24 hours?
I believe so. I'm looking it up.
Yes,
Earlier,
so.
him and Commander and Black Taurus earlier on the other show.
I mean, I gotta tell you, the Vikingo is way over more than when Rush made his appearance.
I've never, I
Oh.
did not expect this. I never seen anything like this. This is unreal. Like, I love it. So, and then our main event, I'm looking forward to this. Made it official, apparently. They made it official literally on the show today.
Official?
Thursday show. On Thursday show. They made it official.
Okay.
Audio Castagnoli defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Eddie Kingston. Holy shit. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be fucking amazing.
Absolutely great. Do you have a title change though?
Yes, absolutely yes. I say you change this title immediately and have Eddie Kingston be your champion.
I think they might do it. Yeah.
That's what I feel you do. And the best part is the whole storyline has been Claudio says that Eddie Kingston has no honor. So that how do you prove it? By beating him for the title with honor. That's how you do it.
If they want to keep the feud going, he could be like, "Well, you didn't beat me with honor." Or,
it's just a simple storyline, but with Eddie Kingston, nothing is simple. Nothing is simple with it, but it's just a simple storyline. You take everything out. It's a simple storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many matches that Eddie has won, and he's called Claudio, "Give me a chance, give me a chance." And Claudio's gonna say, "No, no, no." Okay, let's do this. Put the belt on Eddie. Eddie reaches out to basically shake Claudio's hand. Claudio looks at him and he leaves with disrespect.
Very Blackpool Comic Club. It's very Blackpool Comic Club right now. They're being more heelish right now. So, and what's interesting is the only champion left in Blackpool Comic Club in my world is Judah. Imagine that happens.
That would be quite funny, actually. He's the one
right?
you assume is like the lackey. He can lose. Yeah.
Right. So, all right. Let's move on to the collective. John, go ahead.
Yeah. So at 8 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern time, we have Joey Janela's Spring Break. Yeah. Always a good show, I think. I don't know if does Joey Janela actually book it though?
I don't know, but
I'm not sure.
When you see his match on this show, you wonder.
Yeah. That's a very good point. So we have one of the greatest tag teams of all time, Maki Death Kill. It's Maki Ito and Nick Gage. They are issuing an open challenge.
By the way, did you see this morning that Effy said he might answer it with Alley Catch?
That would be.
Oh, come on.
Effy said he might come in and answer the challenge.
Come on. No,
one of my favorite things of late has been Maki Ito becoming friends with Nick Gage.
What the fuck is that?
Maki Death Kill against Boosie?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Any reason for me to see Alley Catch is good enough for me. I'm not gonna lie. Any reason for me to see Alley Catch.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't want to see Alley Catch get like scratched and bloody and.
Have you watched Alley Catch match? Have you watched one?
Yeah, but
you know, gimmick.
We're talking Nick Gage here. Nick Gage can kind of go to.
I know they had a singles match recently, didn't they? Nick and Alley Catch had a singles match recently, John.
Oh yeah. Nick can be violent, but Ali can be just as violent.
Oh yeah, brutal.
I saw a match once where she pulled a knife.
And then he tried to sell it. A report was trying to sell Alley Catch knives and then trying to get security. My favorite story in the last year.
Well, at least it wasn't a pizza cutter.
But the Alley Catch, just getting Alley Catch Brandon knives is one of the funniest things I've seen in the last year.
Amazing.
And then you want to find out where she kept that knife, though.
I want to know, actually. I'd love to know. I'll help her find it too.
We've also got Speedball Mike Bailey up against oh God, now you've got me messing up his name. Hijo del Vikingo. I had that down until you got it wrong, and now I can't say it. Oh God, damn.
This match is gonna be fucking amazing.
Oh geez, yeah.
This is gonna be a fantastic match.
But during Dynamite, during the main event of Dynamite, I'm like, okay, I know I've seen his name all over the matches, over cards for WrestleMania weekend, and I'm like, where did I find it? And then I look at the spring break like a show I'm definitely watching. I'm definitely watching this show. And then I was like, oh fuck, he's facing Speedball. Oh fuck.
Has Speedball ever had a bad match at
I don't-
these
that's not- that's not-
WrestleMania shows?
Not that I've watched.
No.
Every one of them gold, and this is going to be up there with the best of them, I think. Then we've also got Joey Janela, possible booker, up against Kota Ibushi.
Oh, jeez.
This match got announced by Joey Janela yesterday, and I'm like, wait, I had to read it twice. I'm like, wait, he's going to go to Ibushi? Like, what?
You know what? I guarantee it'll be good. People make fun of Joey Janela now, but he can do some great stuff when he's not burning his foot off. We've also got the Motor City Machine Guns versus East West Express, which is Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne for the Tag Team Championship.
Do you put the belt on Nick Wayne and Oliver?
I think so.
I would, and personally.
No.
I think that would probably be best because I mean Motor City Machine Guns might be a bit busy coming up, and Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne deserve it. They've been there for a good while, and they're a great team. Do it. Put the belts on them.
It's something different. It'd be something different. By the way, CJ has an autographed picture of Nick Wayne sitting in his room right now. By the way.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool. I'm jealous.
Apparently Mandy knows somebody who knows Nick Wayne's trainer.
Yep.
Oh.
So
Get Nick Wayne on the show.
Trust me, I've asked.
Aw.
He's kind of how can I say, very, very busy.
Yeah,
so- This next show, literally, this is all that's announced for it. All that's announced for it. I double checked before we came on the air, and they still haven't announced anything else for this show. Yeah, you can have it.
Okay.
It's simple as one of them all, so go for it.
Once again at a weird time, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time and 2:59 a.m. Eastern time. God, you guys in the East Coast are getting screwed. The Collective, and it's an emo fight. Jimmy Jacobs versus Leo Rush.
So the name of the show is called.
coming out
Well, the name of the show is called Emo Fight, and this is the only match announced for it.
So
Emo Fight is always a funny show because they change like people's names and stuff as well to make them emo.
Jimmy Jacobs is already emo, so there you go.
Jimmy Jacobs is coming out of semi-retirement. Is that it?
It's WrestleMania weekend, of course he is.
Okay.
Of course he is. Why would
He
he?
occasionally pops up in GCW stuff, but has he had a match? I think he might have had one match, maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm double checking right now. Yeah, this is the only match announced for this show, and the only other person announced for it is Kevin Blackwood. The only person announced for it. So I did double check. I'm with the cage match to double check. So
When they've done it before, they had a few big names on. They had GCW staples. They had Marco Stunt come out and play some acoustic guitar last time.
like you do. Like you do. By the way, it's Blackheart Leo Rush for this show.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
it's
his GCW
Blackheart
name, yeah.
Leo Rush.
Sorry, I forgot to note that. I just wrote that on GCW graphic.
Okay. Well, now it makes more sense.
Ay. All right, let's get to the show that I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to now the third year in a row. I'm looking forward to this. By the way, before I even get to this, John, are you attending the UK version of this show in May?
I will be, even if I can't have anyone coming with me, I think.
Big deal for you.
Normally that's what puts me off.
Big deal for you.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss that more. Actually, we'll probably talk about it more when you come on for both Double or Nothing in May, because I think it's the week after, so it works out nicely for us.
Hey.
Anyway, what we're talking about is the Collective. It is at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's actually head to head. I think it's right after or head to head with NXT Stand and Deliver.
Oh.
So
okay.
that's the big competition. I think I'm going to watch this show back to back. It is Effy's Big Gay Brunch, Los Angeles. This is going to be fun. I look forward to this. This is interesting to me. This is going to be my way to plugging something else. A friend of ours, a friend of the show, Nick Hoffman, literally right before we came on the air, announced he is starting a new website and new podcast called House of Hoffman.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And one of his co-hosts for his podcast, they're going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting this week, is going to be the person who's in the corner here, Paulio Del Mar.
Oh, I love Pollo Del Mar.
Yes, it's going to be one of his co-hosts for his weekly show on Tuesday and Thursdays. Now, the show is actually now officially on iTunes and Apple Podcasts and everything. I have subscribed to it officially because I found out about it. I'm like, oh shit, I definitely want to support Nick Hoffman because he helped us out all these years. So I'm definitely going to support him. So John, this is the show I know you most look forward to. I'll let you go through this card because it is Effy's Big Gay Brunch. Go for it.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, it is a great card. First up, we've got, well, not first up, but, first in our little list, we've got an East versus West match. We've got Ashton Starr, Becca. I always read it as B3CCA, but it's Becca. Rico Gonzalez, Aaron Rourke, and Dylan McQueen. I love Dylan McQueen. They are representing East, and they are up against Deshade, Abigail Warren, Anton. Have you read that right? Voorhees?
That's how it was. That's how it was on.
Yeah.
That's how it was on.
I actually don't know them. They're new to me. And Money, Power, Respect, which is Fabuloso Fabricio and Marco Maya, with Pollo Del Mar in their corner. They are the West team. East versus West. That's an interesting choice for the brunch.
I like that. It was a nice surprise when I saw it. And the funny was I had to figure out everyone. Oh, sorry, I just got another member of the Hall of Fame. I'll tell that when we get there. Sorry, they literally just announced another member of the Hall of Fame we'll get to. Hey, continue. Back to you.
We've also got a match. We've got Jay Vidal versus Honest John, which is not me, versus AC Mac versus Kater Murray. I'm dishonest, John.
Fair enough.
Oh, got it.
Jay Vidal is always very exciting, so that'll be quite a cool one. And AC Mac as well, actually, like both of those. We've also got Karam, who I'm not familiar with them, but I'm always excited to learn more. Versus Fred Rosser, who's
making
a perfect
his
person for
Big Gay
this.
Brunch debut.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Fred hasn't been on this already. Maybe it just didn't work out scheduling wise or
I
something.
think he was doing Japan stuff last year, and they got that happening. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I want to see Fred Rosser in this world.
No, I'm looking forward to that. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be fun because he could finally be like the openly gay person he wants to be in this world. Like, I'm really excited to see what he can do in this world.
But that's the thing. Like, what way is he going to take it? Maybe he'll double down on his, because lately he's been a bit tougher. And, he's been a bit aggressive and stuff. Is he going to keep that? Is he going to be a little bit more silly because the brunch has kind of comedic elements? It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Carlo Romo versus Devon Monroe. Sandra Moon versus Steph DeLander.
Yeah, by the way, I'm excited for her. This is her debut in Effy Gay Brunch. I'm excited to see her because I want to see what I've not seen her in an indie match yet. So I want to see what she's like in the indie world. Because I know she's been doing stuff with Matt Cardona. So I'm curious what she's doing here. Like, I haven't seen her wrestle. She's left NXT. So I'm curious how this is going to go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've actually seen anything she's been doing lately. So yeah, that'll be a one to watch out for, definitely. And then the one for me, Kid Bandit versus Sawyer Wreck. Oh,
they
Kid
announced
Bandit's
this
gonna
match.
die.
They announced this match. I showed it to Manny. I'm like, is John okay?
No, I love both of them so much, but Kid Bandit's gonna die. I'm sorry. Sawyer Wreck's just scary, in the best way scary.
Kid Bandit is gonna die?
Yeah,
I think they might.
So.
They might.
Oh
man! By the way, so Effy and Alley Catch, and I forget who they're tagging with. They're in a team called Thirsty.
Oh, wait, no, is it that? Oh, maybe I misread this. Was it Thrusty?
Thirsty. I'm looking at the card trying to see if they announced their match yet. And they haven't announced their match yet.
Yeah, that's a great spin on Bussy because there's three of them. Thrusty.
By the way, they did announce a scramble match, and I had it last night, and I can't find it now. So there's a scramble match, I just can't find it. I don't know where it went.
They always do like a scramble match or like a rumble, or they had Paro did a twink gauntlet one time.
Oh, yeah, this is a real world. This is a strange world. But yeah, they announced it last night, and for some reason I can't find it now. So there is a scramble match. I just can't find the actual picture. So that's that, and I will throw this over to Dad for the next show because I know how much he loves this guy who's running this show.
All right, so we're going on a 9 p.m. Pacific time start and a 12 a.m. Eastern time start, and the Collective, and it's Gringo Locos, the World on Lucha.
Oh, wait, to make a note. I'm making a note, by the way. They did make an announcement that this show will go on if the time is what the time is, but it will go on a half hour after WrestleMania Night 1 ends.
Ah,
Okay.
So people have time to get there after WrestleMania Night 1. They just want to make sure they made that announcement literally a couple hours ago. So go ahead.
Good plan.
so we have Sexy Star versus Dulce Tormita. Negro Casas versus Tony Deppen. Negro Casas, I mean, we're talking old school here. And of course, everyone's favorite Hijo de Vikingo versus Laredo Kid.
Hey.
All right. And guy that we met, Gringo Loco versus Psycho Clown.
I'm taking out the championship match because obviously there's been a title change since this actually was announced.
And here we go. And the GCW Tag Team.
No. It's not a championship match anymore. I just said that. Not a championship match anymore. I just took that off.
Okay. So we're just doing this for the heck of it.
Yes.
Los Masitos Cincope and Medido Extremo versus Familia de Tijuana, Bestita 666, and Damien 666. So we're talking extreme violence versus devil violence.
Sure. We'll go with it. They also announced, by the way.
And of course, to top it off, ring announcer Melissa Santos,
Hey.
Good for her. Good for her.
who's actually married to Brian Cage.
If you didn't know that, you're not on Twitter much.
I always loved her in Lucha Underground as well. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Is this Sexy Star from Lucha Underground?
It is
Wasn't
the
she
Sexy
kind
Star.
of-
Yes,
It
the
is the
Sexy Star.
I saw a picture. It is the Sexy Star from the Joint Underground.
Okay. As
Yep.
much as I love GCW,
It surprised me. This one really surprised
wasn't
me.
she kind of a little bit blacklisted?
Yeah, it surprised me too.
Yeah, from what I hear, there was some controversy on. She was actually, a lot of the females were complaining that she's heavy-handed and she's not pulling her punches, so they kind of like yanked her off.
Maybe
But,
she's
You know,
made amends.
gotta
or
give her a
something.
second chance.
Yeah. Maybe she's apologized. I don't know. I always liked her back in the day, so I'm interested to see her again.
So then then on WrestleMania Sunday afternoon, I thought it was morning, and it's later than I thought it was going to be. Which is good for me. There's going to be a little time to catch up on shows before this actually goes down.
Mm.
At 12 noon Pacific time on WrestleMania Sunday, at 3 p.m. Eastern time, it is the Collective, the second annual Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. And they just announced another member going in literally 2 minutes ago. So I will get to that when we get to the end of the list. But first of all, the first one announced is Christopher Daniels being inducted by none other than Frankie Kazarian.
Oh, he deserves this.
Yeah, his good buddy.
Oh, this is perfect. You can't ask for better than this. Like, absolutely.
Yep.
He's the first person announced. He deserves this. We've met him. I interviewed him. My best interviews, my favorite interviews ever. It was supposed to be 20 minutes. He went an hour and a half.
Oh, that's amazing. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah. And we met him in person, and he tried to pitch him. The two of them did a comic book together. They tried to pitch him the comic book. It was actually a lot of fun. So,
But I mean, you gotta look at all the organizations he's been involved with. TNA, Impact, Ring of Honor,
everything but WWE. Everywhere but WWE.
Yep. And he's been nothing but very magnanimous and generous and giving advice to the younger talent and kind of like a mentor and coach. So this is like the cherry on top of a Sunday for him.
I agree.
And
wrestling. He's still wrestling on Ring of Honor. He's still doing matches on the Ring of Honor television. Now.
Yeah, and he deserves this.
Yeah.
I've
I've been a fan of his since the early days.
Same here.
Of
Same here.
TNA.
TNA.
It was always when it was him and AJ Styles.
My
were
favorite,
great.
one of my favorite triple threat matches of all time was him, Daniels, and Samoa Joe. That is one of my favorite
Oh, that was
matches of
amazing.
all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Love that
Yep.
one.
Oh, the only time the X Division Championship ever made event of the pay-per-view was the three of them. Only time ever. That was
Really? Is
Destination
that
X. If it
true?
wasn't Destination X, if you take Destination X out, because that was the X Division pay-per-view, you take that out, it was the only time that the pay-per-view with the X Division Championship was that match.
Holy crap! I never would have thought.
And I have that
Whoa.
DVD upstairs. I have that DVD upstairs. This is one of my favorite matches of all time.
It's great. It's a masterpiece. Yeah.
So anyway, next up we have Chris Cheerleader Melissa, which is my
Hey.
surprise. Inducted by Dave Prazak.
I love her as well. I think that's great.
I thought that was a really cool one. And then the funny part of that, wasn't she like managing like Awesome Kong in TNA?
Yeah, she was in TNA as
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bit controversial for a bit though, because wasn't she like a Muslim character?
exactly. It was bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. When I found out who it was, I was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, a different time. It was a different time. A little different time.
Yeah.
It was 2005, 2006. It's a little different time. That was when we had Muhammad Hassan doing a thing.
I loved
yeah.
him up until they changed it into, oh, he's actually a terrorist. It's
Yeah,
like, no, the
but
whole
the
point of
original
the
character was
character is he's not.
The original character was amazing. Like I love the original character.
Same.
So anyway, and then we have the zombie princess, Jimmy Jacobs, being
Hey.
conducted by Alex Shelley.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's
That's
another
another
cool
well-deserved one, I think. He's been
Yeah.
around.
legacy. Absolutely. And he wasn't WWE.
Oh.
He was the producer of WWE at one time. So like absolutely.
His
Here.
his matches, oh my lord. Remember one between him and Sammy Callahan. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check
It's
that one
just-
out.
Sam Callahan, the man, the reason why MLW has not returned back to Waukesha.
Dum-bum.
You know that story, John? You know that story?
You have told me this.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay, okay, cool. Anyway, so moving on. I don't know this one. This is one of the person I don't know. Maybe I know one from somebody else. It is Mike Modest being inducted by Barry Blonstein. I don't know Mike Modest. John, do you?
The name sounds very familiar. I've definitely seen him somewhere. I just can't.
I didn't recognize him in the
place it.
picture. I didn't recognize him in the picture at all. Like I did not recognize him. So I figured maybe you could help me out here.
No, it sounds familiar. I've heard that name.
Okay.
I don't know where I've heard that. I'm really racking my brain here.
Yeah, if you're more the indie person here than I am, that's why I asked you because I didn't recognize the name and there was a picture. So like I have my problems like figuring this one out.
I've just looked it up and he's in Beyond the Mat and he's
Oh,
in the
okay.
movie Ready to Rumble.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. And then the last two, the big one was announced with Excalibur.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I know he was. For those who don't realize that he was the voice of AEW now, but he was the voice of Pro Wrestling Gorilla for the
Well,
longest.
that's like his baby, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of his babies, him and Bucks and all them. So like that's a big deal. But he's a big deal in the indie world. So I'm very happy for him. Very cool.
Well, absolutely, and it's a good thing to praise him because he's done all of that, and he's also then managed to make it to announcing a weekly worldwide TV show. That's crazy.
Go figure. I'm impressed. Dad, any thoughts on Excalibur?
Hopefully, he's gonna slow down in his speech and not gonna rush through things and get everything in for time constraints. Because I would love for him to take his time and basically say his well wishes to everyone that has helped him along this path. And this is a feather in his cap. So hey, JR, suck it.
Wow.
Oh, harsh words.
Wow. And finally, this one literally just announced as we're doing the show, going into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, it's Paul London.
Hey, yeah.
This is just announced. Like,
Paul London's not dead?
No, Paul London is not dead.
Okay.
The man who at one time streaked on SmackDown, that's Spanky.
Yes, I remember that.
Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. Good for him. I'm actually happy for him. I completely didn't think about him at all when they were announcing stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Like, good for him. And it just came down as we're sitting here doing the show. So
I think it's a wonderful choice though, because I mean I always think of him from when he was in like Ring of Honor and things like I think that's where I was introduced to him.
Wasn't he world champion or something in Ring of Honor at one point? I don't remember.
He,
I
he,
just
I
thought
think
he
he
was-
held a couple of belts. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a big deal in Ring of Honor. So
And then, of course, he did his stint in Lucha Underground as part of the Rabbit Tribe.
the White Rabbit. Oh my God,
They were great.
that world was so weird. I'm sorry, that show was so bizarre. How was they not stoned doing that? Like that was such a bizarre.
And then when you
situation.
find out who the big boss is, you kind of go, "Woo!"
Yeah, there was so many weird things that went on that show. Like so many strange things. Like I can't even explain. People that never
It's
watched that.
odd.
It's such a bizarre show.
Well,
Oh,
Killer Cross, tick tock, tick tock.
Oh my God, you're right. Actually, you're absolutely right. That's actually where that came from. It's so weird. So
Amazing.
weird and so strange. So
For everything he's gone through, he deserves this.
Yes.
So all right. I think that is WrestleMania weekend in a nutshell. This is gonna be a fun weekend as
Holy-
always. By the way,
holy
not as many shows
hell.
as last year. Not as many shows as last year. But we still spent long. I think it spent longer this year running them than last year.
No, that can't be possible. Come
I'll look it up.
on.
I think we did. We're over the 2 hours. We were sitting here with me and Dad have been on for 2 hours. So that's it for the show. And because Sal is not here, that gives me an excuse to actually play this.
For more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media or watch the show on YouTube, go to theblakeandsaleshow.com. Don't forget to comment or leave a rating and review, and we will read it on the show.
So that is that. Thank you, Kurt Hoffman, for that one. I don't get to use that because usually Sal's here and he hates that. So that's now that he's not here, I get to use it. We're gonna close the show with we got the raid, which is the Damage Control theme music. That's how we're gonna close the show here. I was like, I couldn't resist myself. I had to find a way to squeeze this in this season. So I'm not sure if they're gonna be a team next year, so I'm gonna enjoy it while they are. So Dad, won't you say
There you go.
you're ready to Sal spiel? Go.
Hey, as always, it's been your pleasure. And if you happen to have a local independent wrestling organization where you live at, please patronize these people. These are young men and women that are coming up in the world of professional wrestling, sports, entertainment. You'll be amazed on what they can do, how they fly in the air, their submission holds, and everything else that they've come to learn in this wonderful world of professional wrestling. So please patronize these people, show them some love, because you never know, you may see one of these people in a major wrestling organization down the road, and you can say, hey, I saw them first, they're over here. So, and please, let's be nice and kind to each other. A little kindness goes a long way, and it helps, especially with everything that's been going in the world today. And please love each other. That's all I'm asking. Not too much, is it?
By the way, I want to know, we just did a whole love letter to independent wrestling. That's pretty much what this whole show has been. So that's pretty much what this show has been. John, you weren't here at the top of the show, so get your plugs in. Go.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I can be found, if you want to hear more of me, hosting multiple shows. I've got a show, Bat Minutes, where we talk about the Batman movies. I have a show, Miami Minutes, where we talk about the movie Miami Connection for some reason. I'm not sure why.
It's your idea.
Yeah, it was, sadly. And I have a show, Hedwig, Inch by Angry Inch, about the musical Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And, I won't give you all the websites and all the... Just type any of those into any social media, and you'll find me. You'll find me there.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, tomorrow, I was going to say tomorrow, join us live for our 10-year anniversary celebration at 12 noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. On the podcast side, you will hear our first ever episode on the archives.
Oh,
Boy, the clusterfuck. But it's on the archives. You'll hear it on Tuesday morning. And then you'll hear the actual live show on Wednesday in full, unedited. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. Anytime we do a live show, it always turns into a weird clusterfuck. So come join us for it. That being said, thank you, John, as always, for spending time with us today.
thank you very much for having me.
I have some whining puppies behind me that want to go outside. So let's wrap up here. I'm Blake.
I'm Mark.
And you've been listening to
He's
the
John.
And you've been listening to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark without Sal. Have a good day, everybody.
Speedball Mike Bailey.
From the king, you got the puppet masters. They come with fast, we faster. And then we go to the day off. We back to roll right past you.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Bye bye, bitch.